How do you know if your book is any good? You think it's great. Your mother thinks it's great. Your kids, they're not so crazy about it, but they're kids. But how do you know if the rest of the world will like your book? You're going to find out. Hi, I'm Dan Janal, the author of Write Your Book in a Flash. I've written more than a dozen books that have been translated into 6 languages. I am a ghostwriter, book coach, and developmental editor, and I can help you write your book or find the right person to help you write your book. Let's get started. Okay, so you've written your first draft and you think it's wonderful, and it probably is, but you're not sure. It could be better, but you don't know how to make it better. You've taken it as far as you can go. Maybe you've even worked with a book coach or a developmental editor like me, and they've taken it as far as they can go as well, and they think it's really good. But what do your peers think? What do the readers think? What are the people who are ultimately going to hire you going to think? What are the readers going to think? Well, there are 2 ways to find out. You can either toss your ideas into the wind and publish your book and see what people say on Amazon, and then you're stuck because you can't change anything then because the book's been printed. Or you can do what's called beta reviews or peer reviews beforehand. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Peer review and beta review, because everyone needs to get feedback on their book before it is published. That is essential. Even the best authors in the world get feedback before they publish their books. Now, no one likes to hear bad news, but I'd much rather hear bad news from a friend than from my publisher or from the Amazon critics. One of my friends, Mark Levy, he's a book coach, did his client a favor when he told her, quote, "You don't have a 300-page manuscript. You have a 30-page manuscript written 10 times. That can happen. Mark Victor Hansen, the co-creator of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series, told dozens, if not hundreds, of people to read and grade each potential story. The authors depended on feedback from their target readers to find the best stories. And if they didn't get past that board of real readers, then the story just didn't get into the book. And several 100 million copies later, it looks like that's a winning philosophy. Spencer Johnson, who wrote Who Moved My Cheese, he revised the book more than a dozen times, even after it was published, because he kept on getting feedback from readers. That's a book that sold more than 20 million copies. So I guess you can fix your book after the fact, but really, who wants to? You're moving on to bigger and better things. Once your book is done, you want it to be done and use it as a marketing tool. You don't want to have to go back and fix it after the fact. Okay, so let's figure out, how do you get feedback from your book, for your book? Okay, the first is get your peer review. How do you know if your ideas are solid? Ask your peers. These could be your mastermind partners, colleagues, professors, even competitors, although I like to use the term co-opetition, because the people who do what you do, some of them are out for blood, and some of them look at the world as an infinite level of possibilities where we help each other grow, and a rising tide helps build or lift all boats. So look for those kinds of people to help you. They'll challenge your assumptions. They'll tell you what you got right. They'll tell you what you left out or what you got wrong. So hearing their comments can be brutal, but your book will improve after this review. Now, you don't pay them. This is quid pro quo. You will eventually return the favor and review their books one day. So that's one way of reviewing your book. The second are to use beta readers. Beta readers are volunteers who read a draft of a book and give their honest feedback on what works and what doesn't work and what's missing. They differ from peer review because peers are experts who are looking for the technical flaws. Instead, beta readers are your target readers. They provide an invaluable service to you because they offer unique perspectives that other people don't have. After all, the other authors and peers aren't the target reader. Beta readers want to learn and they want to have their questions answered. If they don't understand something, they'll tell you. For example, my beta readers told me that some case studies were boring. So they told me that some exercises weren't clear. And they point out that some of my promotions were over the top. I thought they were good, but they said, no, too much. Okay. So they also told me what they liked, which was good because, you don't really know what works until it goes out into the public. So it's very important to get the beta readers. So what do you want beta readers to do? Beta readers need direction. After all, they're not professional reviewers. They've never done this before. They are flying blind, basically. They don't know what to look for or what kind of feedback you want from them. They could very say, well, I read the book and it's nice. Well, that doesn't really help you. You need to give them specific information. You might ask them to read the stories and say, does the story make sense? Does it prove the point? Are you motivated by this? You might notice, so what do you ask them? Be very specific. Read chapter 5. Does it make sense? Does it motivate you? Do you understand it? Any of those questions are perfectly good. And a simple yes or no answer is fine for that. I've noticed that there are several different kinds of readers as well, because some people will gloss over everything and say, this is great, this is wonderful. And that's good. They're not providing any specific feedback, but they might be giving you a couple of sentences that you can use in your testimonials, which is wonderful. So you can put those testimonials on Amazon in the book description section. You can put them in the front matter of your book. You might even get some great quotes that would work on the back cover of your book. So that's another function that beta readers have. If they love the book, that's great. If they give you a couple of lines, and that's all you need in a testimonial, frankly. We'll talk about that in another episode. But a line or two is all you really need in a testimonial. If it goes much more than that, then it's kind of hard to read. People don't like reading long, dense paragraphs. Shorter is better when it comes to testimonials. So how do you give them your book? I printed out my book and mailed it to people and included postage for the return, and that was a massive waste of time and money. It cost a lot of money to send a book by mail, and most people didn't return it by mail. They sent me an email that said, hey, I like this, I didn't understand that, can you improve this, and I really like this part. And that's great. So I think we've passed the days when you need to mail things to people. You can email people the whole book or just a chapter of the book, because let's face it, some people don't have a lot of time. They're doing you a favor, and their efforts are best focused on reading one chapter for you. Other people want to read the whole book. How do you know which is which? Well, ask them beforehand. So send them an email that says, hey, I've just written this great book. I think you'll really enjoy it. I really need some feedback about this as well. Would you be willing to read the book and provide some concise feedback for me? I realize you're very busy. I'll try to make this as easy as possible. So if you want to read one chapter, I'll send you one chapter. If you want to read the entire book, I'll send you the entire book by PDF. Here's my deadline. Be sure to include the deadline. Otherwise, it won't get done. Plus, you'll be waiting around forever and waiting. Are they going to send it? Are they going to send it? So really, really bad. Okay, so you've gotten comments back from beta readers. What next? Well, some of them are going to offer advice that you can say, man, I can't believe I did that. That was like really stupid. Others are going to say comments that you really don't agree with. And that's okay. You don't have to change everything. And remember, you're getting feedback from 3 or 5 or 10 people. That's what I would suggest, say 3, 5, or 10 people, depending on how big your network is. And they may consistently say, I don't understand this, in which case they're right, you're wrong. One person may say, I don't understand this. And you look at it and say, well, no, this is really pretty clear. There's something wrong with them. And that's okay too. They're not perfect. Those are some ideas to help you get great feedback on your book, so your book becomes a true beacon of light that helps people and shows you to be the expert that you are and leave a lasting legacy. We have dozens of other videos in this series. Please click on links and watch other videos. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and click on the little bell so you'll be notified when a new episode appears. And if you want more information about how I can help you write your book in a flash, go to writeyourbookinaflash.com. I'm Dan Janal. Thanks for viewing. I'll see you next time. Bye.